YouTube. Okay, ma'am.
Hey students, today we will study the topic popular cloud services. In the last class, we learnt about AWS. This popular cloud services is the last chapter in Unit 4. There are three major vendors in clouds that offer cloud services: Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. Amazon Web Services, AWS, is the suite of cloud computing services offered by Amazon. In that, we have this different categories: compute, cloud services, storage and content delivery, application platform, database, networking. These are various types of services, and the names provided by AWS for these services are EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud, for virtual servers, S3, Simple Storage System. There are three S: Simple S, Storage S, System S, so S3, and EBS, Elastic Block Store. These are data storage facilities. Elastic Beanstalk, this is Application Development Service. RDS, Relational Database Service. DynamoDB and SimpleDB. These are database management services. CloudFront Content Delivery Service. These are the names. From this, we learned about Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. If you please watch the previous class video, uh, you will get to know that Amazon Elastic Cloud, what are the features, and so on. Today, we will look at database services of AWS. What are the database services? Amazon Relational Database Service is the first service. So it provides, Amazon AWS provides facility for database management in cloud. And it is fully managed relational and NoSQL databases. Relational database, Oracle, MySQL, where you have data organized in the form of tables, and then a user can query through SQL. NoSQL databases are those databases that comes under uh, big data kind of environment, where you have MongoDB, DynamoDB. So both services are offered by AWS. And this Amazon offers Amazon Relational Database Service, Amazon RDS. This is in a relational category. In non-relational category, SimpleDB and DynamoDB. All right. Relational databases means tabular structure. Uh, the service is Relational Database Service, RDS. Essentially, there are different kinds of databases for relational and non-relational. Non-relational databases are also known as NoSQL databases. All right, and the service that cloud provides with respect to database is termed as Database as a Service, DBaaS. All right, and then there is one point here that besides using the database service through AWS, consumers can also install their own choice of DBMS on EC2 instance, Elastic Compute Cloud, that provides virtual servers. If user is intending to have a service of his choice, he can install it. Amazon Relational Database Service, Amazon RDS. It is RDBMS offering as cloud service, okay, from Amazon, and it provides web interface to easily manage relational databases in the cloud, and Amazon RDS supports MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server database engines. And Amazon RDS provides all the capabilities of a relational database of MySQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL servers, PostgreSQL database engines. And Amazon imposes hourly charges for RDS service. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. Amazon imposes hourly charges. All right. Hourly charges. If you use the database service for 1 hour, you have to pay for 1 hour. If you use for 1 hour 20 minutes, then you have to pay for 2 hours. And service is offered into two schemes: on-demand scheme and reserved scheme. Okay, on demand, whenever it is needed by the user can use as per his time. And reserved means a user can request to reserve a resource, and that resource will not be allocated to any other user. At that particular user who reserved it uses it. And then RDS provides facility of automated point-in-time backup. Databases, one of the important characteristics is that it provide backup. So RDS also provide a facility to do the backup, automated backup. Amazon RDS is a distributed relational database service. And almost all database tools that comes with uh, popular databases, these all databases are supported in RDS. Next one is SimpleDB. SimpleDB is Amazon's offer of a fully managed non-relational data store. All right, and then this SimpleDB is primarily non-SQL key value store, and it provides many useful query functionalities. And it uses a simple and SQL-like query language. And Amazon charges consumers on resource consumption basis through monthly billing. And also it offers free usage plan up to a certain extent. SimpleDB is a fully managed non-SQL database. DynamoDB is another fully managed NoSQL database service, and it is suitable to work with large volume of data. And it provides very fast and predictable performance. DynamoDB, uh, Amazon does not charge consumers on storage usage basis. It allows developers to purchase a service based on throughput, okay, which is the capacity of its read-write operations per second. Based the metric to charge the consumer is throughput and not the storage usage. What is the difference between SimpleDB and DynamoDB? SimpleDB and DynamoDB are key value paired NoSQL database services offered by Amazon, but they are made to serve different purpose. What are their different purposes? DynamoDB provides facility of high performance database. Okay, and it is suitable for applications targeting high traffic in data storage. DynamoDB is for high performance databases and applications that target high traffic in data store, means large volume of data. Whereas SimpleDB provide better performance than DynamoDB and works with a smaller workload. From the name only, it is apparent that, excuse me, from the name it is apparent that it is simpler than Dynamo. However, SimpleDB has got some limitations relating to scalability. Essentially, it is quite useful for smaller workloads. Okay, for larger workloads, it has got limitation. Okay. Next, Amazon Services, CDN, which is Content Delivery Network. The name of the service is CloudFront. CloudFront is the name of CDN service. So CloudFront is a CDN service and an IaaS offering from Amazon. Okay. IaaS offering, infrastructure as a service. Then this Amazon has developed a global edge network to build CDN facility, and any request for content from consumer is automatically routed to the nearest edge location. Database solutions on AWS. Okay, this table summarizes the database solutions. What are the consumer requirement and what is the preferred solution? The relational database service with minimal overhead regarding as administration is required. If consumer require minimal overhead, the preferred solution is Amazon's RDS. Okay, a relational database service. A NoSQL database service with high scalability. High scalability means it requires solution is DynamoDB. And NoSQL solution required to deal with huge volume of data. Again, DynamoDB. NoSQL database service required to manage low volume of data. It is SimpleDB. Highly flexible NoSQL database service is required. Highly flexible. Go for SimpleDB. It's quite flexible. Requires self-chosen database systems. Uh, in that case, consumer has to install their self-chosen DBMS on Amazon EC2 instance with EBS as a storage. Elastic block store is there, no? That. Okay, that was about databases. Back to CDN, CloudFront. CloudFront CDN works in collaboration with other Amazon Web Services and gives consumer a low latency service. Like other AWS offerings, CloudFront also has a simple web service interface.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Latency service means what is that latency?
Latency means it should require less time. For example, okay, I'll tell you with the help of an example. Now, suppose the user has submitted a query, and the DBMS will give the response. Consider Oracle. We executed some queries in our Oracle lab. So what we did, select star from a student, and then we get back the result. What is latency? In this, latency is the delay between user's request and the response. Okay, suppose if user requires less time should be minimized. It is a mission critical application, and whenever user is posing a query to the DBMS, it should not take much time. It should return the results within specified time, within 1 second or half second, like that. That is, if it is able to do that within the specified time, it is having a good latency. Otherwise, if it is taking more time, it's having high latency. Okay, the delay.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it?
I'm not cutting that word, ma'am. Late.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
reading
yeah,
that
yeah.
word, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, right. You are right.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, to lower the latency means to lower the delay. Delivery of popular and large and popular content. This CloudFront cache copies of static content close to the viewers. When we studied CDN, we learned that uh, there is a server located at every location, and whenever a consumer makes a request for the content, then the content will be returned from the nearest server, nearest to the consumer. That's the same point here. All right. Uh, Further, Amazon Message Queuing Service, SQS. This is the name given to message queuing service. What is the name? Simple Queue Service. It is a fully managed message queuing service to store messages as they travel between computing nodes. Messages are transferred from one node to another node, and this, like in mobile, you use SMS facility. Like that, you have here a message transfer facility wherein you can Amazon provides simple queue service, which queue which provide a queuing service in the sense that suppose a message has to be sent from one node to another node, and there are multiple nodes connected to in an intermediate node stores the messages in the queue and forwards them accordingly. That is a queue, message queue. And message queue plays important role while messages are passed among components of distributed application. Uh, Directly, sometimes what happens is uh, you need to store the message before forwarding it. It is not necessary that always both the sender and the receiver are active. What has to be done? Messages have to be queued at some place, buffered at some place, and forward based on the availability. Message queuing service is SaaS facility. SaaS facility means software as a service. Usage of SQS offloads the administrative burden of managing messages. Because of this queue, there is a less burden on administration, because queue message can be queued. This is message 1, message 2, and as and when they have to be forwarded, they are forwarded. Okay, that was all about Amazon Web Services. So we learned about Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2. Then we learned about S3 and EBS, followed by Beanstalk. Next, RDS. Today we learned about RDS, DynamoDB, SimpleDB, and lastly, a CDL. These are the services of AWS. That is all about Amazon. Moving ahead, next vendor, the major vendor of this cloud service is Microsoft. Microsoft cloud service offerings spans all over application, platform, and infrastructure. We know we have got as, PaaS, and SaaS. Microsoft offers cloud services in all these domains. And Microsoft treats its cloud service as complementary to its traditional application. It is just combining the present services with the cloud services. Present services in the sense that there are some servers, traditional applications running on servers, that one, and cloud are combined. Azure, this Microsoft cloud services named its cloud offerings as Azure. Okay, uh, Windows, it was again renamed as Microsoft Azure on 2014. Okay, Microsoft Azure means it signifies deep blue color, like the color of a clear sky on which one can paint the clouds. Azure means blue color. Azure Virtual Machine. What is Azure Virtual Machine? It is Microsoft Cloud service that uses a special operating system called as Microsoft Azure and runs a layer called as Fabric Controller. It manages computing and storage resources of clusters at Microsoft Data Center. And users can create virtual machines over this layer using Azure Virtual Machine. Okay. Wow. Is there any figure? Let us see. There is no figure. It's like you. We know that virtual machine is created from a physical machine. Physical machine is the real server that allows creation of multiple virtual machines like this: virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2, virtual machine 3, and so on. This Microsoft Cloud Service Azure, uh, it runs a layer called as Fabric Controller. This Fabric Controller, it manages computing and storage resources of clusters at Microsoft Data Center. There are data centers of Microsoft, of Amazon, and Google. In these data centers, they have got computing and storage resources, and they group them into clusters. All right. And then users can create virtual machine over this layer using Azure Virtual Machine. And what is the purpose of this Fabric controller? It manages scalability. Scalability means expansion. Operating system of this is also called as cloud layer. Okay, and it is built over Windows Server system and combines custom version of Hyper-V, Hyper 5, known as Microsoft Azure Hypervisor. We know that there is a virtual machine manager. There is actually hypervisor layer. Hypervisor layer of Microsoft Azure is Microsoft Azure Hypervisor. Hyper this 5, or I think it is V, Hyper-V, Hypervisor. For visor, in short, it is writing V, just V. So the name given is Hyper-V, which is known as Microsoft Azure Hypervisor. All right, and Microsoft offers the options of choosing Windows and Linux operating system at the time of launching virtual machines. Virtual machines in Azure offered two categories: basic tier and standard tier. Basic tier provides economical option for development or testing, where load balancing and scaling features are not provided. Standard tier provides all the advanced features. Virtual machines of different sizes are offered under several series. They have got series, A series, D, DS, G, and consumer can launch machines uh, from the list of available choices. Basic tier does not support scalability uh, and load balancing. These two features are not provided. It is a basic one for smaller applications. Standard tier supports all the features, including basic and advanced. And these services, VM services, have been given the series. Like we see that um, mobile phone vendors release M series phones, S series phones, V series phones, like that. Here, cloud services are offered in the form of some series. So, these are A series. In the basic tier, A naught, A naught instance will have one core of CPU, 0.75 GB of RAM, 20 GB of disk. This very basic cloud offering. You will get only one CPU, one core of processor, and not even 1 GB. It's just 0.75 GB and 20 GB disk. As you go along, you will see that you will find different specifications. A1 has got different specification, A2, and these specifications are offered for uh, various different pricing schemes. There is no single price for all these offerings. This price and this price will differ based on uh, the resources that are allocated to the consumer. Price will be calculated. That is basic tier A. Standard tier A naught, this 1 and 0.75 and 20. Like that, it has up to A3, followed by A4, A5, A6, A7. You see, you have got different specifications. That was about the offerings of infrastructure. That is infrastructure cloud service. Azure platform is the next topic. Azure does not offer as and PaaS facilities separately. So these two services are delivered together. As and PaaS are combined. Whereas in AWS, you can see as and PaaS are different. Azure service can be viewed as a platform as a service offering, and it offers an application server with necessary storage, networking, and other computing infrastructure. Azure has a cloud-enabled version of integrated .NET framework on its virtualized infrastructure. Okay, it has got virtualized infrastructure, means as some processor, RAM, hard disk, and all, and on top of that it also supports .NET framework. So it is like combining the .NET framework comes under PaaS, and processor, uh, RAM, and hard disk is part of as. You see, now both are combined, as and PaaS. It offers this hardware resources, uh, and on top of these it has got .NET, which is software or platform service. Okay, and Microsoft has also added number of services interoperated with Azure, including SQL Azure, which is a version of SQL Server, SharePoint services, uh, Amazon Dynamic CRM, and so on. These are the offerings on cloud by Amazon as part of Azure services. So Azure provides both as well as PaaS services together. Azure platform is comparable with Google's App Engine. Google's App Engine and Microsoft Azure, they are similar, and they can provide both this as and PaaS offerings. Azure Storage. Uh, Azure Storage is the storage home for Azure Virtual Machine. When you get a virtual machine, you also need to have a storage facility. So this Azure Storage is home for Azure Virtual Machine, and it provides scalable, durable, and highly available storage of applications uh, that run on Azure Virtual Machine. On Azure Virtual Machine, applications are executed, and these applications uh, need to store data. For that, Azure Storage is supported. Azure Storage is a persistent storage, and it can function independently from Azure Virtual Machine. Okay, it is not tied up with the Azure Virtual Machine. Azure Storage can operate independently as well. Okay, and Azure Storage offers four services: blob storage, table storage, queue storage, and file storage. Blob storage is for storing files. Table is for non-relational data sets. Queue storage is for communication between components uh, by storing the messages. File storage is the legacy window storage to store folders or files. What is blob storage? Azure Storage has got four different kinds of storage mechanisms: blob, table, queue, and file. Blob is for file storage, table is for NoSQL database storage, queue is for message storage, file is for legacy storage. Legacy storage means conventional servers store files and folders. On a non-cloud service, that one, that is this legacy storage. Blob stands for binary large object. It can store images, audio, multimedia content, and binary executable files. All can be stored in blob. Uh, Please observe here that maximum capacity of a storage account is 500 TB, and any number of blobs can be stored into a container up to 500 TB limit. 500 terabytes, that is the limit. And blob storage enables applications to store a large amount of unstructured data. All right, unstructured data. Unstructured data includes images, video files, and then all the social media posts. Those are unstructured data. If you have data in the table, then it is known as structured data. Table storage is Microsoft offering as a NoSQL key attribute data storage. Key attribute data storage, and it is schema-less. Recall that RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, is schema oriented. It is essential to have a schema defined prior to inserting the values and performing all other DML operations. Here, this table storage under NoSQL database is schemaless, and it can store large volume of non-relational data. All right, and it also provide facility to store simple relational data. And entities are stored into table storage, and entities are actually collection of properties and their values. For instance, you can have a file name. This video file which I am recording now, I can store it in this table storage by giving the name cloud computing of 14 December 20. This is the name of the file, and this video file I can store. Here in table storage, the maximum limit is 200 TB. Table storage is non-SQL data storage offered by Microsoft Azure. Azure Database Service, it has got Azure SQL Database, Microsoft Azure SQL Database. It was formerly known as SQL Azure Database. It is a relational data store, and it is fully managed database service, and it extends the power of Microsoft SQL Server. Azure SQL provides predictable performance, and levels of performance are expressed in database throughput unit DTU. Predictable performance in the sense that if you pose a query, you know that within a certain amount of time you will get back the response. You can predict the response. So Azure SQL is a relational database service. Table storage is non-relational database service, and it can be compared to Amazon RDS and Google SQL. Amazon RDS, relational data store, that is relational data storage facility provided by Amazon. Here we have Azure SQL, which is similar to this Amazon RDS and Google SQL. DocumentDB is a Microsoft NoSQL database offering. DocumentDB is a fully managed JSON document database service. Okay, and it processes schema free NoSQL document as a big data solution. This document DB supports SQL syntax to query JSON documents, and the user can define okay, here users can define functions at the server side using JavaScript also, because this JSON format is JavaScript object notation. This JSON stands for JavaScript object notation. Therefore, users can also define functions in JavaScript. DocumentDB presently supplies software development kits for .NET, JavaScript, Java, Node.js, and Python. HD Insight service. HD Insight service is implementation of Hadoop. Hadoop is big data, um, system. HD Insight is Microsoft's big data software system that implements Hadoop. It is offered by this Microsoft, and it represents Apache Hadoop solution in the Azure cloud. In the Azure cloud also, it is required to have a big data solution that is implemented as HD Insight. And HD Insight uses Azure Blob Storage. Offered by Microsoft Azure as PaaS service. Azure HD Insight provides facility of Apache Hadoop data processing platform, and it provides capabilities to import or export data from or to an Azure SQL database using Scoop connector. This is a software connector that connects these two things so that you can HD Insight and Azure SQL database, you can move the data to and from this. HD Insight also include HBase. What is Apache HBase? It is a columnar NoSQL database which runs on HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. All right. Azure Content Delivery Network. It offers solutions for easy delivery of high bandwidth content which are hosted in Azure. We know that Azure is a cloud service. In this cloud service, you consumer can store the content, and this CDN provides a high performance content delivery. Azure CDN cache Azure blobs and static content, uh, to the nearest locations of for consumers, so that whenever consumer request, it can be delivered from the nearest location. Microsoft's SaaS offerings. Uh, SaaS offering means software as a service. What are the SaaS offerings of Microsoft? Office 365, it is a SaaS offering of Microsoft. It is a cloud version of traditional Microsoft Office suite. This service was launched in 2011. OneDrive. OneDrive is comparable to Google Drive. This is previously it was named as Microsoft SkyDrive. Now it is named as OneDrive. It is a free online storage where general users can store their files and access them from anywhere. OneDrive provides 5 GB of free storage. and 1 TB of storage with an Office 365 subscription. You have to take subscription of it. If you pay for Office 365, you will be given 1 TB of storage. Otherwise, if you are not subscribed, you will be getting only 5 GB, whereas Google Drive offer 15 GB. This offers 5 GB. SharePoint Online. SharePoint is Microsoft's offering for highly secure collaboration at a central location online. Employees of various projects can coordinate and can use this Microsoft SharePoint server uh, to have better collaboration. Okay, that was about Microsoft. Tomorrow we will look at Google Cloud. Uh, so we have done with Amazon Web
Hello, ma'am.
Services. Yes,
Recently, I purchased laptop, ma'am.
very good.
Windows 10. I got
Mhm.
OneDrive some GB free, ma'am. Can we say that
Oh, nice.
by cloud or only by Windows or something?
No, that is cloud.
We
How much
got.
you got?
I don't know exactly. I don't remember, ma'am.
You
But
check. You check it.
I'm not with my laptop now. Now.
Oh, okay. Whenever you get laptop, you check it. It will be. It is a cloud service, and yeah, there is a OneDrive app also. You can
Yes, ma'am.
install
It's
that on
OneDrive.
mobile, and then whatever you store, and you can. If suppose you have two machines, two laptops, and if you store on OneDrive, then you can access the data from another laptop if you open that OneDrive.
Okay, ma'am.
OneDrive is a cloud service.
Okay, ma'am.
Means the data is not stored locally. It is stored on data center.
Can we say that it's secured, ma'am?
Yeah, it is very secure. Lot of research is happening to secure the data on cloud. Lot and lot of research. Now, we can confidently say that all the data, whatever we store, is secure on cloud.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Okay,
We have
Manisha. So tomorrow
secure
we will come.
issues
Hmm?
also in cloud.
Mm-hmm.
When
Mm-hmm.
we are starting from where we are, when we are from starting chapters, we got some issues, na ma'am. Topic in that security issues also is one of the problem in cloud computing. We study like that. Na.
Exactly, exactly. There were several security issues, but now one by one they are resolving. Now you see major companies are also going for cloud services.
Oh,
Major companies. So why will they go if there is no security? They are storing their complete information on cloud.
yes, ma'am.
So it is secure, but further, what happens if you try to find for every virus, if there is an antivirus, new virus will be created, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That way, if you resolve one issue, another issue will come up. But then now security is stable on cloud. It is, trustable.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Manisha, bye.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.